Hey, what's up YouTube? So today we're going to be talking about New World, the game that's been winning over the hearts of millions and burning up the graphics cards of others. Start with, we have a little public service announcement. For some reason, New World likes to heat up certain graphics cards and CPUs to ungodly temperatures that could destroy them. Even if you're just sitting on the queue loading screen, your computer could still be in danger. So make sure to monitor your temps so you don't flash fry your PC. Now let's get into the actual gameplay of New World. The developers decided to go with a soul style of combat, which is a really cool idea. Combat is pretty fun for the first 20 to 25 hours of the game, but after that it gets a little stale and it doesn't feel very rewarding to press your buttons a lot of the time. Another issue they have is if you experience lag of any sort on the server or on your PC, hitting any of your attacks feels awful and the mob crushes you while you move in slow motion. This combat style is also going to make dungeons difficult to design. The way things are currently structured, I think bosses are either going to get easily killed while everyone stands in a circle swinging at it like drunken monkeys, or the boss is going to tend to feel overpowered as it obliterates everyone. Over time, this will even out as bosses and mechanics are tuned and players get better at the game. There will be some growing pains, and tweaks to how things work will definitely be necessary. The next part we're going to talk about is the story. Unfortunately, the story to New World is pretty much non-existent. It looks like the devs went with the plan that you, the player, are going to make your own story for the most part. They have a really cool opening cinematic that brings you to the island, and I'm really disappointed that they didn't expand on it at all. I was actually really into where the story could potentially go and was pretty sad to find out that it goes absolutely nowhere. I would like to see some sort of story going forward. If they don't end up doing it, that could be fine. I think this game works really well as just a gameplay game. It was just sad that they had such a cool premise that I don't think they ever capitalized on whatsoever. Besides the combat, the other main focal point is crafting. There's an enormous amount of professions in this game, and if you are into crafting in other games, you are really gonna like this game. It feels really smooth and intuitive, plus there's so much of it that it's gonna keep you busy for a really long time. Especially if you're a more casual player that's just looking for something to do for a couple hours every night to wind down from work. I do worry what the game is going to look like when you reach the point where all your professions are maxed out, and whether or not you're going to have enough to do. So it's going to be interesting to see how the developers handle that going forward. Regardless, from the perspective of a brand new player, this game is 100% worth the $40 just for the leveling up process and the crafting. No subscription is also a huge plus, so for that price, I think this game is worth trying if you're on the fence about it. Amazon had a very successful launch compared to pretty much every other MMO I've played. When one of the biggest overall complaints from the community is long queue times to get into servers, that has to make Amazon feel pretty good. I just really hope they fix the graphics card issues. At the time of this video, they released a statement saying it's not their problem and they're blaming the graphics card companies for underlying defects. This is really dumb. People have been testing these issues like crazy, including YouTuber J2Cents, and it's very clear that the way things are coded in New World are exposing these underlying GPU problems. There's no reason for them to act like a politician that got caught in an airport bathroom with a prostitute and just go into full denial mode. All that will accomplish is preventing people from playing your game, because at the end of the day, nobody is going to replace their expensive high-end graphics card just because it has issues with New World. They just simply won't play New World. And while this may not be an issue right now while everyone's hyped about the game, you're going to want those players after the hype wears off. All that aside, I think the endgame issues are what's going to make or break this game, but that's true for every MMO, and every game has to go through growing pains. I've never seen the game come out that's 100% complete on launch, and they're going to have to figure out how to keep players interested long term. I'm really hopeful for how things will end up, but only time is going to tell. Hopefully this game will be incredibly successful and become a main pillar of the MMO community over years to come.